Hi, my name is Bethany Belbin, and I will be previewing my Object-Oriented Java Assignment 2, where I created a movie object connected to a GUI using JavaFX. To begin, I will show you my text file so far. And here I have the title, Back to the Future, actor, Michael J. Fox, genre, sci-fi, year, 1985, and the length is 115 minutes. And then below you can see each movie I've added afterwards, like While You Were Sleeping, Taken, and Star Wars. Okay, so I'll close that out. And let's open up my NetBeans. Go to my main, and we will run file. Okay, so here comes my GUI of my movie catalog, where I ask the user to input the movie title, the main actor, to select from some radio buttons here for genre. And the radio buttons, you can only select one, which although is not accurate for movies themselves, because multiple movies have more than one genre. For simplicity's sake, that is how I designed it. Here I display an image, and then here the user can enter in the year the movie was released, and then they can use the slider, which previews the value of the slider. And then here you write to the file, and below is a label that just says please fill in all fields. So if we are going to enter in a movie, we would type in say Rough Night, and we would say Scarlett Johansson. We would say comedy. Year released is 2017, and the movie was 110 minutes. Okay, so from here we're going to write to the file, and below you can see where it says success, where the file was written. Okay, so now if I go and I open up my text file again, you can see how it has added in Rough Night, actor Scarlett Johansson, genre comedy, year 2017, and length is 110 minutes. So we'll close that again. And we'll close this. We will run the file again. And we will enter in the Avengers, Chris Evans, say family. We won't enter in the year, but we will select length in minutes, and we'll say write to file. And as you can see, this still says please fill in all fields, and that is because we haven't filled in the year released. So if I close that and I open up my text file again, you can see how it wasn't entered into the text file. So when you go to the GUI, to NetBeans again, you can kind of see how we've got an explosion of exceptions here. And if we go right down to the bottom, and you see caused by for input string, where you can see where it was empty. And then you can see down here that it continues going, saying that the integer.parseInt was the issue. So if we click on that, let's click on maybe here we go. So you can kind of see it says that the problem is the int year integer.parseInt, which is the year text field, which is what we did not enter. Okay, so if I close this now, I will go to my movie class, and here you can see where I have instance variables that are all private so that they cannot expose their internal state. So we have the private string title, genre, actor. We got private int year released. We got private int length in minutes. And then we have our constructor. And with our constructor here, you can you see where it pulls in the title, the actor, the genre, the year released, and the length in minutes. And then it says to set all of them. So as we go down to our getters and setters, you can see how get title returns the title. And then the set title, you see where it says title dot is empty. So it's testing to see if the title field is empty. And if so, it's going to throw an exception saying this movie must have a title. If it isn't empty, it'll add the title to the string title. And then it continues on doing the same for actor, for genre, and then for year released, you see how it says int current year is equal to the local date now.getYear. So this here tests to make sure that the movie year is less than the current year. And if it is, then year gets set. And then below here, we got to set length in minutes, where we have int length in minutes. And you can see if length in minutes is less than or equal to 240 minutes, and length in minutes is greater than or equal to 1, then it sets. Else it throws the exception saying movie length must be greater than 0 and less than 240 minutes. And then we have a toString, where we do a string, return a string format of title, actor, genre, year, length. And then we pull in all our fields. So if I go to my controller here, you can see where we have a bunch of imports, and the yellow means that along the way I have added the imports, but they're unused. So we could get rid of those. And then under our fxml movies document controller, which implements the initializable, we set our instance variables through the fxml way. So fxml is just, you use it to create a user interface. So these here are fields that are set up through Scene Builder and JavaFX. So we use the private instance text field, which we have set for the title, and then we say title text field, and that's what it gets called. And then we do the same for actors, and then we set up our radio buttons for our genres, our slider and our slider label, the one that keeps getting updated as we slide across for the minutes. And then we have the text field for the year. We have one for our button, one for the label for the button if it's pressed, and then we have our toggle group, which is also for our radio buttons. So under our method initialize, we see how we have initialized the slider for the length in minutes. So we've set the minimum to 0 and the max to 240. And then we show the tick marks. So we show the major tick marks, which go by increments of 10, and the minimum tick marks that go by sets of 5. And then we update the slider, length slider label, which gets called from this method right here, which we've done through a string.format. And then here we configure our toggle group. So we say that if this is selected, we set that to the genre selected toggle. Then below we have our public void write to file button pushed. And here we set the string genre, string title, and string actor to the get text which says get the text from the user entry from our GUI and set it to the string that is being called to. So string genre, string title, and string actor. Then for the slider label, we're taking the slider label and we're setting the text to a string format, and we are then using that and getting the value for the length and minute slider. Then for our int year, we're using an integer.parseInt because where a year we use a text field, it outputs it as a string. So then we have to convert it back to an integer for our movie class to be able to read it. So then we have our movie instance, which is movie equals new movie, title, actor, genre, year, and then we use int here for this dot length in minutes slider get value because it wants to bring out the value as a double instead of an int. So we throw the int in here to let the compiler know that we want it to be an int and not a double. Then here we use a try statement to open and create our movie catalog.txt, and if it is true, we write to it. So we write movie.toString, and then we have a new line. And this pulls from the toString of our movie class right here. And then once the button's hit, if it writes to it, we write success. And if it doesn't, the file doesn't open or doesn't create, we throw a catch, which throws an exception. So we say print the exception or write to file and say all fields must be filled. Okay, so now I will open up my test package, and here's my test package that tests my movie class. So here we go through and we create a new movie and we throw in some fields, and then here we test to get the title, to set the title, set to get the actor, set the actor, set title invalid. Oh, I have a little spelling mistake there. And then set actor invalid, set genre, or get genre, set genre, and set genre invalid. Okay, so we will run the code here. Okay. Test file. Oh, here we go. So you can see that all tests have passed. Okay. So that is my video explaining my GUI project, and have a good day.